And now, marine weather around Alaska.
And taking a look at the marine forecast here for the southeast coast, central and south coast, variable winds 5 to 15 knots, as you can see, mostly northwest 15 along Prince of Wales Island, but sea's not too bad, running 4 to 5 feet. And for the north coast here, south to east at 10 to 25 knots, strongest on the extreme north coast there with 4 to 5 foot seas. Lynn Canal, south winds 15 knots, seas 2 feet. Northwest at 10 for Stevens Passage, northwest at 15 for Clarence Strait. And for Thursday, for Stevens Passage, Clarence Strait, northwest winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet. And for the south coast here, north to northwest winds 10 to 15 knots. And for the north coast, east to southeast winds 10 to 25 knots. And for Prince William Sound, small craft advisories in store for the day Wednesday there, with southeast winds at 25 knots, seas around 6 feet. East winds 25 knots for southern Cook Inlet with 6 foot seas. Light variable winds north of the Forelands. And for Kamishak Bay and the Barren Islands, small craft advisory, southeast winds 30 knots with seas around 10 feet. For the North Gulf Coast, south to southeast winds at 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. And then for Thursday, gale warnings in Prince William Sound, southeast winds increasing to 40 knots with seas up to 9 feet. And for the North Gulf Coast, southeast winds 30 to 35 knots with seas 10 to 11 feet. South to southeast winds 30 knots, Kamishak Bay and the Barren Islands with seas up to 11 feet. And windier in Cook Inlet as well, southeast 20 to 25 knots with 4 to 6 foot seas. Kodiak Island tomorrow, southeast winds 25 to 30 knots, seas up to 10 feet. Alaska Peninsula, west-northwest winds 10 to 15 knots. And for Bristol Bay, southwest at 10, seas just 2 feet. And for the day on Thursday, Kodiak Island, south winds 20 to 30 knots with seas up to 12 feet. West winds or west-northwesterlies blowing there across the Alaska Peninsula at 20 to 25 knots. And west winds 25 knots with 7 foot seas there in Bristol Bay. Eastern Aleutians, west to northwest winds 15 to 20 knots tomorrow, northwest at 20 for the central Aleutians. And for Adak out west towards Shimi and Attu, look for west-northwest winds at 15 knots with 4 to 5 foot seas. For the day Thursday, good gales come in with that next storm into the western Aleutians west of Adak, gale force winds south to southeast 40 knots. Seas 10 to 15 feet, and southeast or southwest at 25 knots for Adak and Atka, turning westerly across the Fox Islands at 20 to 25 knots. And for the southwest coast there, look for north to northwest winds here right along the coastline at 20 knots with seas at about 4 feet, north at 15 for the Pribilof Islands, and northwest 15 for St. Matthew Island, and for the St. Lawrence Island area, north at 20. And then for Thursday, both Norton Sound, St. Lawrence Island, and St. Matthew Island all be seeing north winds at 15 knots with seas running 4 to 6 feet. Northwest 15 for the Yukon Delta coast, but small craft advisories here for the Kuskokwim Delta coast from Nunivak Island to Cape Newenham. Northwest winds 25 knots, seas 4 feet. And the Pribilofs looking at westerlies at 20 knots with 6 foot seas. And for the eastern Aleutians, kind of a variable wind pattern there. Light though at 10 knots with seas just 1 foot. West at 15 for the central coast with 2 foot seas. West at 10 with 2 foot seas for the west side. And for the Chukchi Sea, north winds 20 knots, seas 3 to 4 feet. And for the day Thursday, the Chukchi Sea, north winds 15 to 20. And western Arctic coast, northeast at 10 knots, north at 10 knots on the central coast. And east to northeast breeze at 15 knots with 2 foot seas for the eastern Beaufort Sea coastline.